timber that's born. Our love gives me warmth and shelter. Sounds like music and it smells so sweet. Grace and beauty are the constant beat. Horses around me and I feel like I'm home. 'Cause I'm wild about bonds. 'Cause I'm wild about bonds. 'Cause I'm wild about bonds. Wild about bonds.
Ready to take a stroll through some amazing barns? Let's hit the trail.
If these logs could speak, they'd tell a tale of joy and struggle on a human scale. The barn that's part of our pioneer soul is now the icon of Jackson Hole.
The buildings on Mormon Road tell the story of a once vibrant pioneering community. At the center of each 160-acre homestead was a barn, home to cows, horses, pigs, and chickens that nourished and sustained families in a harsh land.
I loved it, but I didn't know any different. This was home. This is where I was raised.
Betty Moulton grew up milking cows in what Country Magazine calls America's most photographed barn. The TA Moulton barn near Moose, Wyoming, has stood for more than 100 years at the gateway to Grand Teton National Park.
The TA Moulton barn is a pretty fantastic spot. We get so many visitors from all around the world asking about this particular barn.
My grandfather used to say that if he had a nickel of every photo of that barn, he would be a rich man, you know?
It took 30 years to build this barn. Thomas Alma Moulton and his sons Harley and Clark worked in phases when they had enough money to buy nails and timber.
They dug irrigation canals to try to make a living in this very harsh landscape. The winters here are extremely long. The summers are very short.
All of them on the Mormon row here started growing these 90-day oats, and it was really a big thing for them because they could grow a cash crop that they could use for themselves, for their livestock, and also sell to the adjoining ranches.
They came over to this valley and they saw the sagebrush up at shoulder height, and they saw that rich, dark soil that, you know, their eyes were pointed to the ground. They didn't realize, I think, at the time that the money was actually in that mountain.
When I was growing up, I didn't think it was a famous barn. It was just a working barn.
I think a lot of the reason it's so popular is because of the historic value of it. It shows the history of the states.
It represents work and the values that you find in a family that work together.
If you see that barn, you know where it's at, and so it gives me a great deal of pride.
It's a place to honor our family. My grandpa and my uncle and my dad, they really worked hard. And I hope it stays there forever.
If these logs could speak, they'd tell a tale of joy and struggle on a human scale. The barn that's part of our pioneer soul is now the icon of Jackson